Hey everyone, Matt Covert here again from howtobecomeracecar driver.com, and in this video we're going to be talking about one of my favorite things to go on and on about all day, and it's the topic of using hard data instead of just guessing. You know what guessing is? Guessing is exactly the same thing as hoping. And that's not what you want to do when you're at the track. You want to use real information to get real results real fast. All right, so let's dive right on into this. I'm really excited about this one, so let's do this. Okay, using data does a number of things for you. I mentioned them a couple of them a second ago. Okay, you are striving to make real scientific change. Okay, you want to make it quickly, and you want to avoid all that really annoying time it takes to do trial and error. Can you get there by guessing a bunch of times and just narrowing in on some of the best settings for your car? Absolutely you can, but why would you take the time? That doesn't make sense to me, all right? Let me give you a couple of examples of the types of guessing that I see out on the track all the time. One that really irks me all the time is on a hot day, you've got guys out there and they've got their like pesticide pressurized spraying bottles of water things on their tires, and I can't figure out why. Because obviously the theory behind that is, well, the tires are really hot and we're cooling the tires down so that they'll be providing more traction when we're out on the track. Well, that's great, and I like the idea of what they're trying to accomplish, okay? But I've never seen anyone doing this who's using any type of data to make their decisions on. In other words, none of these people that I know of, that I see doing this, or none of these people that I see doing this know what their optimal tire temperatures even are for the tires that they're using. And even though they don't know that, they don't even know what the tire temperatures are in the moment. So they don't know what the tires should be, and they don't know what they are, and yet they're still spraying water on them. And I can't figure out why. Okay, that is not data. That is a straight up guess. And like I said earlier, that's a hope. Okay? And that's just not water. By the way, I'm just going to write this up here, okay? That's a method that I like to call monkey vision. You want to know why? Because these people who are doing this are only doing this because they see everyone else doing it. Monkey see, monkey do. All the people spraying water on their tires are using monkey vision. So they're just following the crowd, and that does not produce results. If one guy is doing it, everyone's doing it, and nobody's using information to make their cars actually better. And along that same line, I'm just going to write tire pressure up here as well. You see guys all the time throughout the day, they're relieving pressure from their tires, lowering pounds per square inch all day long as their tires warm up. Okay? I can't figure this one out either, okay? I take tire temperatures after all of my runs, and even though I do see some type of temperature increase and pressure increase, it doesn't change how the car handles usually. And as long as the tires are still within their optimal range, I still let them go. I don't cool them down, and I don't change tire pressure, except in a few extreme circumstances, because the data that I take after every single run doesn't show that this is necessary. It might be different for a different type of tire, on a different type of car, or a different driving style, but for what I'm doing, I am using real data to make real decisions, okay? And I think I put something like this in a video earlier, but I'm going to do it again, okay? I can't figure out why people are so intent on guessing to make decisions when they can just use the data that is so easily available in front of them. Because there is so much information to be had just by reading tire temperatures. And that's another whole video entirely. In fact, I am going to do another video about what I am personally doing to use data to make good decisions in my car and how my car is set up. And that'll be really interesting, I think. Most of this stuff centers around maximizing contact patch and the traction available at your tires. And there's a lot of information on the website about that. I'm going to link to an article I wrote. It's a really long article, everything you need to know about performance tires. I'm going to link to that here, and I'm going to put a link to the tire section, or a link to the section of the tire. No, what am I trying to say? I'm going to link to the section of videos that deals with tire management. I'm going to put that here, and there's a ton of information here about what you need to be aware of to get your optimal tire temperatures and your pressures and all that stuff. So there's more information for you there. And I think I'm going to wrap it up there. And I'm going to go right to that next video right now about what I'm doing personally. I'm out.